A bucket list and the importance of this in your relationship. I'm Jackie Elmer, a pilot wife for over 35 years, and I want to share with you again the importance of a bucket list, creating an idea of those experiences that you want to have personally, individually, and certainly as a couple, and how this can truly solidify and grow your relationship. Grab the Pilot Wife Checklist over at pilotwifechecklist.com. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or a podcast app, make sure you find us over on YouTube at Travel Life by a Pilot Wife. All right, a few key things that a bucket list can do for you is create that sense of anticipation. I don't know about you, but when I have things on the calendar extending all the way out into the year, I love that feeling. I love that sense of adventure and that sense of having things already scheduled to look forward to. Now, I live in the Phoenix Scottsdale area where it gets very warm in the summertime. And I know for me, getting out of Dodge, so to speak, anywhere from June through September is always on my bucket list. So I try to plan something every 2 to 3 weeks, even if it's just a day trip up north. Now, these aren't necessarily bucket list ideas, but I'm just sharing this to let you know that for me, when I can open up my calendar and look at those 4 hot months and think, yeah, but it's going to go quickly because I'm going to Flagstaff or I'm going to Durango, my hometown in Colorado, or I'm going to the beach, San Diego, or anywhere in the world to get away. So that's an idea of how having things on the calendar and having that anticipation and things to look forward to are so important. It gives you that sense of fun. And when you think about it, I always say, anyway, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And all of us could use a little bit more fun in our life, in our relationships, in our marriage, in our family life, and certainly looking at that calendar. Am I right or am I right? The other thing is that sense of adventure. And when I get just a few minutes down the road here, when I share with you like how to start creating that bucket list, you're going to see that working together collectively can open you up to some different experiences that you might not have otherwise experienced. Maybe you've never really thought about bungee jumping. Maybe you've never really thought about skydiving. Maybe you never will. Just throwing out some different things that possibly came across your radar, but didn't come across your partner's or vice versa. So open yourself up before you immediately think, oh no, not going there. Open yourself up to the idea of fun, experiences, and adventure. And then again, talking about the relationship building aspect of this. I said, the couple that plays together stays together. And I really, truly do believe that to be true because it's so powerful in relationship building when you're collectively working toward fun and adventure and common experiences. It's so easy to get caught up in day-to-day life, right? They get their schedule, you look ahead, it's frustrating. They don't have this time off. They're trying to trade this, they're trying to do all that. You've got kids growing up possibly. You've got all the mundane things that honestly, over time, you realize are the important things if you just learn to make those fun every day. But we have all those little mundane things that we do day to day in life. But when we can take a little bit of time and plan and look at hotels, look at Airbnbs, look at flights, look at beaches, look at museums, look at all the things that are out there that we might want to do, it's powerful how that can really build and solidify your relationship. I say, what's on the calendar gets done. And I can say for certain at this decade in my life that that's certainly been true for me. Once I truly started using and embracing, yes, I still use an old-fashioned day timer. I use my Google Calendar as well, but an old-fashioned day timer allows me to open it up and see what's on there and what I'm going to be working toward. And one thing that I know for sure is once I started really putting things on the calendar, it began to happen and to get done. Maybe friends were planning a trip. Maybe somebody invited us on a cruise, into next year. What I found is if I put specific things on the calendar before I was even certain that I could commit to them, 9 times out of 10, it actually came to pass and it actually happened. So begin to be adventuresome with your calendar as well and start getting things put on your calendar. Once they're on your calendar, then you can begin the planning part of it, which creates that sense of fun, adventure, and relationship building. And it also allows you to be very forward thinking in what your life experiences are going to be, how you're going to enrich your relationship, how you're going to enrich your own knowledge base and grow from the experiences of a bucket list and certainly travel. Now, all that to say, every item that you have on your bucket list doesn't have to involve travel. It could, but it could be other things as well. So just have some fun looking at experiences that you'd like to do. Maybe you'd like to be part of building a home for Habitat for Humanity. That could be something that's on your bucket list. Again, that typically needs to be calendared. You have to talk to the organization locally, typically find out what's going on. So begin to think of other things outside of travel too that you want to include on your bucket list. Now, here's how you're going to go about creating that bucket list. Individually, each of you are going to take some time to create your own bucket list with 20 top experiences that you'd like to have in your life. And then you schedule date night or date coffee or a date time, and both of you bring your list and you sit down together, and one by one, you explore all of those things. Maybe you go through your entire list first, and then he goes through his, or maybe you go one for one for one for one. That's how I recommend doing it. That way you can easily see where you overlap, and some things might be, the same item that's on the bucket list. But begin to explore them. Talk about them. Individually, each of you share what it is about that particular item on your bucket list that matters to you, why you want to experience that, how you see that growing you as a person and potentially you as a couple. And again, be open to listening to the other person share, even if you find yourself kind of at first wanting to push back and think, oh, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. It's important that we understand the reasoning, the motivations behind why people like to do things. And you will find that when you begin to have these types of conversations, you learn a whole lot more about the person who you're sharing your life with. Now, once you've each shared, you can then begin to merge those lists together to see where the overlap is and where you both agree that you want to experience this together. Decide which ones you want to do solo. That's okay too. If you have something on your bucket list that he or she doesn't want to do, that's okay. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's just that that person is not going to accompany you. And I know for me, that's fine with me. I would rather know. I don't want to force anyone, and certainly not my husband, to do something or go on a trip or spend the time to do something that he truly doesn't want to do and isn't going to enjoy. And I don't know about your partner, but I know for mine, he doesn't suffer in silence. Let me just say that. And so for me, it's much better to plan that trip by myself, with my daughter, who's a great travel partner, with other pilot wives or other people who I travel well with who are excited about experiencing that. Because I don't want to be a babysitter. I don't want to shorten my time that I'm spending in a museum or something else like that because the person I'm with doesn't want to do that. And then once you've done that, decide which ones you're going to prioritize. That's the next most important thing. Pick 1 to 3 off the list once you have those prioritized for this year and get it on the calendar. Now, it's possible only one thing is doable this year, maybe 3 or more. Depends on your situation. And we all know that we have to be flexible in the airline industry, in aviation in general, and certainly many other professions. It's possible that vacations have already been bid for and awarded. And we also know, specifically in the commercial airline side of things, that it's highly possible to stretch long periods of time together without actually taking vacation time. So pick some dates, get those dates on the calendar, and then begin to talk about, plan, and work toward making these things happen. It may be possible that you don't want to put any deposits down that are non-refundable. Certainly, if you absolutely don't know that you can confirm that, but it's possible if they're refundable, go ahead and book Airbnbs, book hotels, book trips, book cruises, book as much as you possibly can, knowing that you can get a refund because, again, what's on the calendar, what gets planned for, our mind goes to work on making sure that it happens. So get those booked. And then simply begin to calendar out the rest of the remaining list. You're going to have anywhere from 20 to 40 items on that bucket list once you've merged them together. Once you've merged those two lists together, you're going to have a number of things, and you can begin to plan and prioritize and get those out there. Could be every year you plan something, could be 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years down the road, but definitely begin to prioritize and plan for these bucket list items. And again, these are powerful for relationship building, for creating that sense of fun and adventure and things to look forward to together. And as you begin to experience some of these as a couple, the planning and the actual execution and experiencing it, it's amazing what this will do for your relationship. And it's also amazing what it can do for each of you individually to expand your idea of what fun and adventure consists of and other experiences that you'd like to have together. Again, the couple who plays together stays together. The family that plays together and creates solid bonds in these shared activities stay together also. And I know as a parent, you have a much better chance of keeping your children close to the vest, raising them with the values that are important to you, and stopping that splintering that can often happen with families. I started traveling with my daughter on a mother-daughter trip when she was in 5th grade, and we've kept it up, not every year as she's gotten older. She's 29 as of this recording, but most years we have managed to fit some type of trip in. And it's kind of funny, for Christmas this year, our family is all about giving experiences, and she gave me the gift of an experience up to Sedona together to spend a night, and I'm gifting her the experience of going out to Ventura in California and the beach for 2 nights. So it's just kind of funny how we both still really prioritize that time spent together. So there you go. Set some goals. Get systems in place to begin to make this happen. If it's on the calendar, set up some reminders, the month before he or she's going to bid, if that's what you need to do to try to get that time off. Set those intentions in place and plan, plan, plan. And again, the biggest F word in aviation is flexibility. No, it's not flight, believe it or not. It's flexibility. So, of course, we always have to be willing to be flexible. So please leave below. I would love to hear what's on your bucket list, what you've already experienced in terms of bucket list items. Let the rest of us see and expand our own idea of what fun and adventure might be like by looking at your ideas, sharing in your experiences, and adding those to our own. It's possible that you've thought of some amazing things that the rest of us have not thought of. I know for me, one of the things that's on my bucket list, I am currently 4 states away from all 50 states in the United States, and I'm also visiting all the presidential libraries. I think I have about 6 or 7 under my belt, and I'm working on that timeline to get all the rest of them done. And again, part of that planning process is looking to see, where are they all? And how many of them are grouped together that I can actually go visit in a short amount of time. There are 3 of them in Texas. I'm trying to think, both the Bushes and I think Lyndon Johnson, all 3 of those are kind of together. So that's going to make it easy. That's one trip to the Dallas and Houston and College Station area, but I'll be able to take in all of that, and I'm super excited about that. So if you like what you're experiencing here, please give my channel a like, a subscribe, and allow the natural algorithm to put this out in front of other pilot wives, partners, aviation professionals, and anyone else who wants to experience this type of lifestyle. I'm Jackie Ulmer. Thanks for being here. Do you ever find yourself on the struggle bus with relationships, career, or life in general? I'm a mindset and peak performance coach, helping women rediscover their own sense of identity and purpose, avoid turbulence, and put their own oxygen mask on first. Together, we work to get you out of autopilot and create a better flight plan for life and relationship success. As a pilot wife for over 30 years, I've navigated thousands of miles and moments in aviation, mommyhood, business, and life in general. I would love to offer you a free call to see if I might be able to help you too. You can go to coach.pilotwifepodcast.com. And if you have a topic suggestion or a story to share on the show, go to ask.pilotwifepodcast.com. And of course, you'll find all of this at resources.pilotwifepodcast.com. Please take a moment to review and rate the show on whatever your favorite podcast app is. This helps the show get found by others who need what we have here. I'll see you on the journey, and thanks for listening.